Today's stuff is complicated enough that I needed more than one of the books. Check those out if you want.
Why are they filling up new?
Because in this game, you run an adventure during an unspecified or variable time during the summer. And then the rest of the year, the knight is attending to their estate. And so we run one adventure and a whole year passes.
Oh, like downtime.
And we have a whole downtime process called the winter phase. And then they age up and the family ages up and all sorts of things happen. You might have kids, you might, someone relative might die. Check to see how your horses are doing. You work on your manor if you want to spiff up your manor, or you have a bad year and go into debt. I mean, all sorts of things.
And these are tables or?
Yeah, there's an interactive process. It's a little bit automated, but not, you don't have to let it rule you.
It's not just you theory crafting up a story, it's just there is some mechanics involved.
Yeah. And then one of the numbers that we're excited about is this glory thing. Yeah. So you can see on the old sheet, that's the glory he started the previous adventure with, and that's the glory he accumulated. Mm-hmm. And you do that through the winter phase as well. And then you put it all into the next sheet for the next round. It means a certain amount of recopying. I am sorry to say that's the only thing, but I think it's pretty clear that I didn't really get it the first round. And the sheet during the second adventure was, especially into that next winter phase, was impenetrable. Yeah. So I realized we had to actually separate it out. Okay, I've just got a few of my necessary resources here. I'll be pulling out some of the maps for terrain, for hitting each other at one point or another. And I think we can kind of move in. Yeah. Christian and I talked a lot more about the game itself. Yeah. And I posted about it in some detail as well. And the take home is that it is not well set up to generate new situations of play from what the knights want to do. Yeah, yeah. And although you could kind of make it do that, you would then have to basically ignore an enormous amount of their other procedures and processes. And so it's really kind of bent, in my opinion, that way. I don't think it's a good ultimate design for purposes of playing your character and having what your character do matters to your character's life. Mm. So I'm trying to find a couple of split the differences, and I still have to be more manipulative, or kind of, the curtain comes up and our knights are here than I want to be. Yeah. And this time I will demonstrate me splitting this difference by having two of you in one place and one of you in another. Ooh, cool. And we're just going to play across the scenes like we ordinarily would. Yeah, yeah. And just pretend it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, yeah. So I
think we've already done that.
Yeah, it's something we frequently do, and it's not hard. Everyone seems to think it's hard if the characters are different. Yeah. It's not. Mm-hmm. So I do need that map now, Robert. Thanks. If we go to our map of the regions of Britain. There we go. Home is down here in Logres. Yep. Right? Nice. And Cambria, okay, now modern Wales is here. Mm. Yeah. But Cambria, Wales is more
coming in
eastern. Yeah. Yeah. And I just remembered the French spelled Wales with a G, just like William and Leon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And therefore Gales, although they wouldn't have pronounced it that way. And that is where Lancelot gets his last name.
Oh really?
Yeah, but regardless, I just remembered that finally. I knew there was something weird about it. Anyway, here is Cambria, and then way up here is Cumbria, which modern day Cumbria is actually just here, but here we're using it for all of what today we would call northern England. So, given that you were interested in at least making some Cumbrian knights' lives miserable, if at all possible, I am going to take you way up here into Cumbria. Now, how you got this far without being slaughtered by this or that Cumbrian knight along the way, I'm not sure.
No.
But up here, interestingly enough, in Cumbria, right in this area, there is actually a little kingdom who is loyal to Arthur.
Oh, cool.
So, however you got there,
My boat.
you're sort of safe there.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Cumbrians are not. I mean, they're technically sworn to Arthur, and you'll probably find a number of knights or lords who would be reasonable, but overall, they're not. They're naughty about that. And over here, let's see. So that's coming into this zone here. Now down in, where did you go? Down in Cambria, all the way down in Cambria. You can see here, there's this little bay with this little sticky outy part in there. That little sticky outy part is Cheshire, as in the cat. And here we call it North Wales, Norgalis. That's where our tournament is.
Oh.
So you guys are at that particular tournament, whereas you are up in whatchamacallit, Cambanet.
Cambanet.
What's this? Cambanet, I guess, if you want to.
Cambanet.
Yeah. Therefore, I'm going to kind of put a huge Sharpie over whatever it took for you to get there, and effectively you're at the tournament.
Yeah.
This would be a major tournament, and especially since having cough cough conquered Ireland. Now, I've heard that before. They have now Irish knights are interested in all things knightly, and so this is the first time that a great big contingent of Irish knights have come over for a big tournament. And one would expect a whole bunch of the round table knights and everything to go. The Irish knights are itching for a friendly reassessment of this Sir Tristram fellow who fought in disguise and fooled everybody and upended the tournament a few years ago. The first attempt at a tournament there. And they're kind of like, we've been practicing. We wouldn't mind, right? However, all of the notables, the real notables, the Round Table in particular, have been bled off to the wedding of King Mark and Isolde, whom Tristram has rescued from somewhere and traveled with her all the way down and didn't get up to any hanky-panky with her at all.
No.
And so, cue 2 decades now of, feud and blood. But anyway, nobody knows about this right now, and there's a wedding. Now she's going to be Queen Isolde, and of course there's going to be a royal level tournament here. But that takes big money, and that takes. I mean, you have to be much higher status.
Shit, I forgot to copy the back.
There's basically, I'm saying that you guys ended up going to the somewhat more socially and financially accessible tournament right here, rather than this really high end.
They'd want a chance to win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you guys don't have the chops to compete with all these roundtable nights and stuff.
You don't go to the World Cup. The first thing you do
Exactly.
is expect to win.
So, so that's where you two are. This is the place is named after the town in it. Is pending guess right there.
Yes.
So that is the actual location. I mean, the immediate little location, the county / town. So we have you at how much glory?
2,163.
Oh, good. Very.
And you are at
1,704.
1492.
Okay, so it is time. You're itching for glory, right? And you are now a banneret.
Yes.
And when I found out what that means.
Guy who holds the banner.
No, it means that when you gather for war or later for tournaments, although that would be later from now, you have a banner under which a number of knights fight. And they don't use their own little heraldry for that. You use the next lord. You use the level of the lord up. So if you don't get to have the banner under which all these knights are fighting, all these different lords, then you're a banneret. He's the banner. You're the banneret.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's, as I say, it's the lowest level of gentry.
Still gentry?
It is still gentry. Okay, now where are we going to start? First of all, let's just take a look and say we've got things to play.
Yeah.
And I'm totally happy just to play about. I'm going to need Knights Adventurous. Thanks. Well, this is Duke Randall of the City of Legions, which you and I would call Chester. And he's a vassal of the King of Norgalis, and is one of the most loyal to King Arthur on the whole West Coast. So it's a really good place for a very dedicated Arthurian tournament. There's all sorts of things about him. The area has a magic crown, and whoever gets the magic crown next gets to be the king for a while. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Magic. This is the first time for this whole region that we're going to do a full-style tournament, which includes the joust. So they've never done tournaments before in this general area, but they've never done the new form, which is the jousting one. And it is a local tournament, which they tell me is small in the books, at only 500 to 1,000 knights.
Exactly. That's nothing.
What the fuck was the population of England in the 530s? I don't think so. Well, I know. I mean, that's a small part of the population. Yeah. But anyway, so we are going to swallow hard and say a whole lot of knights are there.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It's like the entry just goes.
I mean, they talk about thousands and thousands of knights at the royal tournaments. A few other things. It is a tournament for love, which means we use the blunted weaponry, half damage, and therefore, when somebody feels sufficiently battered, they're probably conscious enough to yield. And deaths can happen, but they're not that, they're not that common.
Yeah.
They have a pavilion set up, and I'm going to take the Spectre King over there. This is for some other tournament, but it's useful for us. Here is our tournament grounds, roughly. As you can see, it's set off from town. There's a market here. This is where we're going to have the melee. And here, this strip is where we're going to run the jousts. That's 2 people at a time, whereas the melee is everybody still standing in the whole tournament. So as you can see, this is much bigger.
Yeah.
And this is probably anyway. Here's plowed fields, as you can see. This is all part of the functioning manor. The village proper is here, and there's more of it over here. Pavilions is where you will be pitching tents. So all these knights are coming, and those that aren't being housed somewhere decent, like at the manor or some nice part of the village, basically just have to pitch tents. And I don't even want to imagine what the water and sanitary issues are, but we're going to pretend that it is reasonably clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then the archery setup is here, as it says. Let's see. Right, that shorter one, that's the grandstand in where everybody sits, where the notable people sit while they watch the joust. And then the commoners, many commoners have come to watch this too, so they've got a campground as well. And we are not going to wonder just what is being bought and sold for groats and similar in that commoners camp, or which of the knights kind of find themselves, I ended up in the commoners camp somehow tonight. I don't know how that happened. So anyway, it's all very festive, as you can imagine. There's going to be goods have been brought in, and then people have timed their mercantile travels so that they will be ending up here. And obviously, all of the food production is put into overdrive, and stockpiles are being drained for this. It's a big event.
Mm-hmm.
The Irish show up from the sea, and they are a very boisterous lot, and very eager to get into chain and plate for the first time. So they're very interested in the ironmongery, steelworking, by which they would be getting better armor. And there's a first step called the Helm Show, but we're not going to get into that because clearly enough time has to pass for people to show up. And that's an amorphous period of time. We don't have like a day on which everybody, steps off the train at the right time. This is people show up over the course of weeks, probably. So during that period, you'll have time to for the squires to meet other squires and to work out how they're going to manage your lives. Look around and see if there's any, the knights from Logres are bitching about the Saxons. Who let all these Saxons in here?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm loyal to King Arthur. And you're like,
oh, there are Saxons too?
well, the Cumbria is a hybrid culture.
Oh, I see.
The Saxons settled in, a lot of them have assimilated. Well, the Cumbrians think of them as assimilated. The Logres people are kind of like, seriously? So they have names like, I don't know, Alfred and weird shit like that. But so there's some of them have come, but most of this is Cambrian and Irish. And it's great that anybody has come from Logres. A few other ordinary knights have come as along. You have the highest status of the knights who've traveled from Logres, which isn't very high. And people are kind of like, well, I guess everyone's kind of, the local Lord Randall has kind of reconciled himself to, well, I guess we're kind of low rent, but we're going to have a good time, right? We're going to have a good tournament here. And the Irish are in kind of a good mood. They're like, this rocks. And so
Yeah, there's nothing to compare it to.
And everybody's looking around for Tristram. All the Irish are like looking around for him, you know, and to finally know he's down in Cornwall. They're just like, they're sad. They wanted a good thumping, you know. So,
I think that if arcade would try to be there earlier than perhaps would be usual, just because it's the first time they're holding like this full tournament with all the bells and whistles. So we will actually try to like see if they need help. You know, do you need to know the rules? Like how many paces should the jousting
so
list
you make
be?
yourself obnoxious at the jousting range.
Yes,
I see.
So the melee ground is probably
More courtesy.
Yeah.
So this doesn't look up to snuff.
Oh,
Success.
excellent. Well, sir, I mean, I suppose I should make up his steward and stuff like that. There will be a master of the lists whose job is to manage this. And you present yourself, I guess, in such a way that he finds it worth his time or likes the idea of treating you like an expert.
Yeah.
And the dude from Logris is here. You've seen these. From where? Sarum. What is Sarum? Is that in London? You know, and so he's very interested. I mean, you must have attended many jousts.
Of course. Yeah, naturally. You know, Arcade is an expert in these matters. You know, he has 15 tourneys, skills, and actually. You know.
Are you going to allow us how you've been to lots of jousts in Camelot?
No, he's not gonna like it.
Good. That's the honest and deception. I was just checking over there. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's actually 50-50.
It's not important enough to get a check.
No.
But when we spot traits in action, right? We'll take a look. Yeah. And no surprise, but there is no lack of eligible ladies for whom you are no longer eligible. But you may be. But the point is that the whole court aspect of this is being taken very seriously. They are going to have proper events. There's going to be a pageant. There's going to be a fun display in which a bunch of knights are, you know, accoutered with their rebated weapons, and they're going to fight these other knights who all turn out to be a bunch of ladies. And I'm giving it away, but I'll probably forget along the way. But when and if we get to that point, what happens is that the knights go to attack and the ladies throw flowers at them, and they swoon and fall over, you know, and are beaten by the ladies. You know, the commoners think this is awesome. That kind of stuff.
That would be done at the time.
Yeah. There's probably jugglers and jongleurs and musicians and stuff, but
Gladiators.
Probably I'm not paying any attention to you right now. Probably nowhere near as good as Logris and areas around Camelot.
They're trying.
Right. Yeah, but it's fun enough.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
The people are having fun.
Yeah.
That's what counts.
Yeah. So for a little bit there, it's kind of like, you know, a big vacation, right? It's gonna be spring break or something, you know, out there in these pavilions and at the market and stuff like that. The squires are getting very, very good at acquiring things.
Yeah.
It's kind of that.
That's a joke.
So, how about you? What sort of things are you going to tuck yourself into? I haven't really set a scene so much as because we haven't done the Helm show yet, which is when all the knights are presented.
Right. Do they have games?
I think if you want to do, well, there's two kinds. There's the upper crusty, you know, lords and ladies and knights doing social things in a somewhat structured environment, probably at the manor, and one of the outlying sections of the manor might be sort of a rumpus room for, you know, the visitors, full of games, you know, the game room. And then there's whatever we're getting up to in terms of, I mean, somebody from the market has almost certainly organized the winnings, the takes, and the holding of the stakes.
That's where parents going to